I think when it comes to listening at an organizational level, the first thing that needs to happen is there's actually a little moment of leadership reflection. Now, that can be a short amount of time. Yep, I'm really clear. I have these needs and opportunities. We have these needs and opportunities, and I want to understand them. Sometimes that requires a little bit more, shall we say, convincing. And that convincing can be in the form of, you know what? Why don't we do our first part of SEEQ story collection with the leadership team? And why don't we have you explore your own experiences around this topic before we go and find out what the rest of the organization feels about this? Because it goes back to that example I was sharing about how sometimes a leader needs to both look inward and be ready to hear from outside themselves. And that is kind of a yin yang. It happens kind of together. The reflectiveness prepares them to hear. If the leader goes into that engagement and says, I want to improve employee experience, employee engagement, and isn't really prepared to be vulnerable, because the vulnerability is not just saying, I've got an experience to share. It's what I hear, I may not like. I may not want to hear it, but I need to hear it. And I need to not be afraid of what I'm going to hear. We're not asking whether or not, did you like the speed of delivery? I mean, you can answer that question. We're not asking, do you like these benefits you got? You already know the answer to that. We're asking, do you love working here? And if not, why? And if you're trying to answer those kind of questions, as a leader, you've got to become a lot more vulnerable to start that process, because it'll also set an example. So first step is a little bit of reflection. Second step is usually leadership saying, we want to hear from you. In the best case scenarios, they're leading that with a little bit of a personal example of, this is what I've been experiencing in this, and I invite you to share your story. And once that happens, we're kind of off to the races, because the employees in that organization, whether the culture is extremely strong or a little broken in places, respond to leaders who set the example for what they want to see happen in return.